Welcome to Girl Call Me with Tanya,
And Jessica,
the podcast where Black women's voices shine.
come for the empowerment and storytelling and stay for the sisterhood.
Girl Call Me with Tanya and Jessica's new episodes every Wednesday, everywhere you get podcasts.
Head over to girlcallme.com to find out all the ways we can continue the conversation together.
Hey, it's Jessica. Before we dive into today's episode, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge what so many of us are feeling right now. This month has been heavy, disheartening, isolating, and a stark reminder that far too often, Black women are left feeling like we're carrying the weight of the world alone. It's exhausting. It's not okay. But even in the midst of all of that, I want us to pause and honor something beautiful. Us. Black women continue to show up for each other, even when it feels like no one else does. We find ways to laugh, to hold each other up, and to build community. That's something that no one can take from us. So this week, during Thanksgiving, I want to express my deepest gratitude for this sisterhood. First, for my amazing co-host Tanya, for which none of this would be possible without, and also for all of you, each of you who listens, who loves, who gives, and who refuses to give up. This episode is all about joy, because we deserve joy. We're bringing you some of the funniest, wildest, most ridiculous moments from Tanya and me this season, and I hope it makes you smile, laugh, and forget the heaviness, even if just for a little while. So grab your plate, sit back, and let's fill the room with laughter. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's get into it. For a little while. So grab your plate, sit back, and let's fill the room with laughter. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Let's get into it.
Are you excited to be back at Girl Call Me in front of the
I'm
mic?
excited. I'm here. I'm excited. I'm excited about all the new people who are here. Not that I don't mess with the old people. Like, don't get it twisted, but I'm very excited about new fans. New fans and followers.
Yes, we are fans and followers. I love how we are like fans. They're listening, going, y'all are
So
extra. Y'all are so extra. Nobody said we were a fan. Somebody said
right,
we'll listen.
we'll
Let's
listen
not
to
be
one episode that does not make me a fan. I'm ready. I'm thankful for the shirts that
right.
everyone's been wearing and the fan mail and
Okay, extra. I think I mentioned to you that I've been waiting for Bridgerton Part 2 to
oh
come
my god.
back. And that is what I've been waiting for because I need to know if Penelope finally gets
I'm
her
just
love.
understanding this. It's Bridgerton Part 2 because Queen Charlotte was technically the second part release, but that's not considered Part 2 because it's a prequel. Is that right?
Oh my God.
No.
No. This almost sounds like you explaining the basketball to me because that was a
Wait. No.
no.
What?
So
No. Isn't this the third time they've released episodes? Queen Charlotte was a second round of episodes they released, right?
no, when you think about Queen Charlotte was her own show.
Right.
It was
Oh,
kind of like it was
a
basically
spin-off.
started as Bridgerton and Queen. It's her the spinoff, right? So you got to take that away. This is season 3,
Oh,
and so because of capitalism, Netflix didn't want people to just get Netflix for a month or a couple
right.
days. So what they did is they split season 3 into 2
But you said
parts.
season 2 in the
So
beginning,
we
or did
have
you say part 1, season 3?
exactly part 1, season
Okay.
3. So so I've watched part 1 and we are all
Name who
everyone
was
and
in
you'll see
part
all the
1,
memes
remind
as
me. That's the Rajan whatever is the guy, right? The black guy? That was their story, right?
yes,
That was
that was see okay, are you talking about oh, are you talking about the good
yeah,
looking brother that left? That's that's called
that was
season 1.
2020.
Then there was
Okay,
season yes, that was then
okay.
season 2. Now this season 3. It's based on the book. So the third one we're focused on
Yes,
Penelope.
and she is Lady Whistledown. Down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm caught up. I'm caught
Okay.
up. I'm caught up.
Anyway, you are all caught up. So wait, so clearly we are aware that Jessica's not waiting. We're not waiting
O
for June
okay. I
13th to
don't
show up.
think I saw I definitely watched Queen Charlotte. I definitely watched season
Yes,
1.
a lot of
I
people
think
did.
maybe
Yes.
I didn't watch season 2, or maybe I watched it during the time during the pandemic where now it's just, like, deleted from my brain.
Right.
So maybe I need to go back
Yeah, so I
and
think
watch.
yeah. Yeah, I think you should you know what? Binge watch with some tea, some high tea and some
Okay.
scones. But
This
in
sounds like a
in
lot of work.
addition to that well, no, it's not as much work as the catching up with the WNBA that's happening every
Yeah, we
single
do
day.
have to share that one of the what was called one of the most viral photos of this WNBA
Oh god,
season,
here we go.
I am in the photo.
Yes. And we will
We
be
will share
sharing
that
that
on
on
social
socials. I'm
media.
going to
I was at
yes.
the Aces game playing against the Sparks. Big
Mhm.
big block by Kate Martin, rookie out of Iowa, and yeah, I'm in the background.
Yes. And I did want to I know we've been lighthearted, but there's a lot of other stuff. What?
We d
Why are you laughing?
Okay, yep.
She does laugh when I kind
Y
of pivot.
You're like, "I
Now,
know
I know
that's
we've been
fun.
playing
I know
around,
that's fun."
but
I
there's
didn't
some
even get to
serious stuff
talk about the
happening in the
trash-ass
world.
men who are making the WNBA part of their
Oh,
conversation.
she's taking
Ste
back the floor. Let's
I
get that
just
out.
need to say, look,
Stephen A.
I've
Smith.
waited my whole life to just let somebody hear me, besides my dad, complain about Stephen A. Smith. So now that I have a podcast, I'm just gonna tell everyone here, that man is trash, he's been trash. So that's yep, saying it.
Stephen,
Call us.
listen,
Girl, call us.
let's go. Let's call girl, and you probably yeah,
Girl, call
girl
us,
call.
okay?
Instead of just saying, "Hey, I don't know." And that goes back to the being vulnerable. We willing and can we? Do we have the luxury of just saying, "You know what? I don't know that. Could you share that?" And if we do, I think we'll probably I don't know if I would sleep. I would probably be up all night going, I wonder what they
Yep.
thought. I would probably don't like me. Da 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 da. Oh my God, I'm not gonna get that promote. Like we start
Yeah,
obsessing
or
about it.
even if I say I know it, will they believe that I know it without the 2 or 3 letters after my name that show that I've mastered it, right? Like,
Right. Trust
I
and
need to go
belief.
seek that external, like, not only validation, but, like, authentication. Like, this person knows this information, you cannot take this away from them, right? I think that there is a whole lot of and, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying if you're Black and you're a woman, you got a degree for that reason, that's not what I'm saying, but I do think there's a lot of us who feel like, I won't have to try to prove to someone that I know something if I can just say that I have my MBA. Then they're not gonna question me on if I know what I'm talking about when it comes to XYZ, or
Well, the scary thing is it
it
doesn't
doesn't.
matter though.
No, we're
They're
full.
still gonna look. They still look at. They still look at you, and they're still gonna make an assumption. I was listening to a great podcast that you suggested to me, and it was Ask a Therapist at Black Female Therapists and at Counseling in Color. She was in her office with a picture of her son, and someone came in and basically said something like, "Oh, you're a single mom." What? Like the fact that someone would come into your office and just because you have pictures of children and maybe not your husband, that they would make an assumption. And I say that only because nobody may have looked up and saw the degree, because she's a therapist. No one thought anything else. It was just the assumption. And
Well,
that's
and
what
then
people do.
that's those experiences, when we talk about misrepresentation, those experiences built up over time like a callus are why we have a hard time being vulnerable next time. So next time when someone's like, "Oh, hey, tell me about, my kid is going through this challenge in their life. Like tell me about your family." That's why people sometimes are like, "No."
I don't want to talk about
Right.
them.
Because
Right.
all things Olympic content it's at, what was the quote I saw? 34% of people think that they could compete in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like people are really sitting there watching and being like, I could do that. And
Yeah.
there's these videos
Handball. Did you know I could do the
showing,
handball?
yeah, see, I knew, how did I know that you were going to be part of that 34%?
Handball. Come on, you know
I was
you can
I was bringing it
you
up. I
know
was
it.
bringing it up because of the absurdity of it, but of
No.
course you would think you could be it. But the videos are people trying to do very basic moves from different sports, and it is so embarrassing. It is so embarrassing. It is just I need y'all to watch it and realize you couldn't do this.
I
They
mean,
not like us.
you know that handball is one of the
You
sports, right?
yeah, but you Tanya, you couldn't do it. Like
Yeah.
this is like you thinking you could land a plane. You can't do it.
I think we
Like,
all
believe
should
black women unless they're telling you that they can compete in the Olympics, and then don't believe black women.
you know what I think? I think
Named Tanya.
we should all have our own inner fantasies. I think I'm occasionally Wonder Woman, and I think we all have our own, like,
Yeah.
thing that we
Yeah,
wish we
yeah.
could do. So it's okay.
Didn't you go to the club last weekend to play a racket sport, and you didn't even make it to the courts because someone stopped you with a tray pass margarita?
I did that did happen. I was there, and I don't know why, but I was like, "Why is the club on a Saturday at 11 handing out different margaritas?" I was like, "Oh."
That is not what we call an Olympian's focus.
And then listen, being able to lift a glass, you never know. I know
Yeah,
if
you're right. You
I'd
never
win that
know.
gold. I would definitely win the gold if it was like, "How many margaritas?"
Well, I'm excited about the Olympics. I'm gonna be that person. And actually, we did what's funny is we didn't even plan this together.
It
We
was
both
crazy.
happened to be going to Martha's Vineyard at the same time,
Same
and so we
week.
were able to get some real quality QT time together. We'll share
Mhm.
pictures. We did some yoga on the beach. We did a polar bear a plunge with the polar bears, which
Whoa,
is
whoa, whoa, whoa,
amazing.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's all to my polar bears in Martha's Vineyard. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's the call to the polar bears. We'll share some pictures of that because that was fun. But I think it would just be hilarious if this was the first time. I think this was the first time you and I flew together. Is that right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so
absolutely.
we talk about like our flight preferences and that type of thing, but this was the first time that we really were in action. And when I tell you I was laughing the entire time when I and laughing even more when I've gone back through and looked at the pictures of us and just thought about how auntie we were and how bougie we were.
Because what we weren't in first class. This was just fact.
Well,
This
girl, we
flight
were in
we
steerage.
this plane didn't have first class. And we listen,
The
we're
plane
stuck.
barely had medium class. I don't
It
even know
didn't
what class we were in.
we were it was and we won't do we say what
We
the
won't say
air
the airline.
we
Well,
won't say the
no,
airline.
we won't say the airline, but know that we weren't on the worst of the airlines
We
because we would
weren't.
never do that.
We weren't
We're not
break
flying on a yellow airline, if you know what I mean.
we weren't breaking our spirit. Or
And we were
or
flying outside of the Southwest. So
right.
we weren't on those.
And we weren't headed to a new frontier. We weren't. We swear.
Oh,
But
we were flying in them blue skies and it was rough. It
it was
was
rough.
rough.
So we decided to, we were like, oh, we're both gonna be the same time. We're like, so let's do a red eye, right? Let's do a red
First
eye
of all,
and never do
this
a
is
red
how
eye.
you know this is how you know we have anxiety because like the decision making process, if you just slow down and think about it, is crazy. But we're all caught up in it. Yeah, let's do red eye. You doing this? Okay, great, great. We'll book. Red eye out of
Done.
Ontario. Worst
Ontario.
idea ever. Worst
Ontario.
idea ever.
Right. So when you're flying out of Ontario, those
Yeah.
planes may be a bit older. Um, they may not have, plugins or the normal chairs that you assume. So flying on Ontario, we were the only one with masks on
And the entire plane.
the entire, and
I
people
mean,
are coughing.
there were maybe like 3 or 4 people that we were like trying to like low key recruit to be our middle seat, but we did not have luck.
Well, let's talk about the
with
middle seat,
recruiting.
right? We decided to be in the same row. We did upgrade to whatever
Did
upgrade there
we?
was.
Oh,
We
yeah, we
did.
upgraded to even more space. Now
Even
we're
more.
giving away. Yeah.
Right. And so that meant there was a seat in the middle. So all the way up to when we arrived at the airport. And then I thought, well, maybe we should buy that seat in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't just buy the seat for
It was stupid.
$150 divided by 2. We're wild for that.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
So we assumed we're going to get there and that middle seat was not going to be taken. Guess what?
Guess what? Seats taken, full flight. Because Tanya was up at the check-in desk as soon as we got there, asking for status updates. I'm sorry, is this flight full? Can you please tell me who's sitting in between us? Is this, and
What
they
is
were like,
happening?
girl,
Go sit
back
down.
up.
Right. And so we get there. I'm mad. I'm heated. Why am I heated? For no reason. Because I didn't think to buy my middle seat. So
Right.
we get there and we sit down and a lovely couple walks in.
No, wait a second. We sit down. Tanya is wearing an air purifier around her neck. She's also brought handheld purifiers for both of
Two.
us to put in our cup holders.
Right.
Tanya also proceeds to take lavender essential oils out and
Mm.
have us rub it on our temples to relax. These are rituals I do not normally do. So we already look wild. And we're both wrapping our hair. So now we have masks on
We
and
did
we're
wrap
wrapping our hair. And we're wrapping our hair for this red eye. And we got lavender on. And we got the purifiers go. So this is like auntie energy times
on 10.
1000.
And we're headed to the vineyard. We're headed to the vineyard.
And most of these people were not. Most of these people were, I don't even know where they were going because we were going through New York.
Right.
So middle seat, we're getting to the very end of the loading, right? Most people are sitting and we're like, hey, maybe there'll be one seat. It'll be the one between us. No such luck. The woman walks up with her husband. Her husband sits in this aisle seat in front of us. And then she says to Tanya, and at this point I'm checked out. I already have my headphones on.
She's done. She's
I'm
out.
not even engaged. Says to Tanya, asks her, would you mind to move? If couldn't we switch seats? I heard half of it and I was like, there's no way Tanya's gonna even entertain this. For some reason, Tanya gave her like a little bit of hope. Like you were like, oh, maybe let me see. And I'm looking around like, this is crazy if you're gonna do this. And then Tanya just looked back at her and was like, no, actually, never mind. I'm not gonna I won't be
I'm not.
switching seats.
I won't be. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry.
So the woman comes to sit in between us. And
Yes.
this point, I really check out.
He's done.
Noise canceling on, head on the side. I'm done.
But I'm
And
still
then
involved. I'm still
and then
engaged.
Tanya starts texting me. So you could take it from there.
So then I start texting because when she sat down, I got a whiff of what was not pleasant. So she leans over and says, my husband gave me a gummy and it made me sick. And I have been throwing up and been sick the entire time in the
Because I get
airport
anxious flying.
because I get anxious. And I go, in my mind, I'm thinking, I think I texted Jessica, I smell stuff. This is
Vomit.
right. I smell it.
Said.
And so then we notice, both of her and I noticed that there is a seat in the aisle on the other side that was empty. And she's like, well, that's why I wanted to switch seats and da da da, which I think she was kind of playing for like my seat for me to switch with her because she didn't want to disturb me and go to the bathroom. So I said, let's see if you can take this seat in the other aisle. And so the flight attendant comes by and she said, ma'am, can I move? And I said, can you move? Because she's not feeling well. Mind you, I have shared my lavender oil with her because
Oh, Tanya pulls back out the lavender oil and tells the woman in between us that maybe it will help her. And all I could think about is like, this is going to make her throw up. Like, this is not
my
going to, this is going to.
my theory was that maybe the smell would be better. That was my theory. So, in all, she ends up moving to the seat, and we end up at the end of the day. We had the full aisle, which is what we wanted. It was
This
exactly
what we
what we
wanted.
wanted. And of course, I felt bad for the young little girl who was huffing and puffing and cussing because she was hoping to have the whole aisle to herself. But no, because that was my Leo energy coming through, I think.
Yeah, it sure was. Yeah, but look, I mean, it worked out for us. Yeah, we had our own row, so
And
that
then,
worked out.
and then it was okay. I mean, except for the very rude flight attendant who, and the fact that they didn't even give you your own water bottle. You were doing community water. It was like one bottle that they were filling these cups. I was like, this is so different. This is
And
so
we
different.
and we had a woman who was sitting on our same aisle, but the other window, who
Oh,
did not understand plane etiquette about when you're flying and you're supposed to be pretending it's a full night flight so you don't, get messed up by the time change. She needed to have her window shade open
right.
for extra
And
light into the plane.
and we and we didn't talk about the two people who were near death and dying and coughing the entire flight.
Oh, yeah. And, Tanya was, like, tripping out because they were, like, 2 rows in front of her or 1 row in front.
One row, and my air purifier was in that direction. I will say that my air purifier, and all in all, between the plantain chips, that was a snack,
Mm.
and it was what I would say. I will never be flying this airline again. They sent me a survey.
Oh, I don't know. What is the what did you say on the survey?
Do better.
Do better. You
Just do
said,
better.
"I need you to do better."
Not again. We'll be focusing on Delta and maybe American.
When Tanya checked into her hotel room, she had pulled out a black light and proceeded to show me that she does a full scan of her hotel room with any hotel room with a black light when she arrives, which is insane.
See,
Insane.
you make me sound crazy when you
No,
say.
I'm not. I don't make you sound crazy. I'm just repeating what happened. Did that not I have pictures of that
You know
happening.
what? It's important to see if they're little critters. Little
It's
critters.
not because what most hotels there's going to be, do you wanna know about it or would you just rather
I
not?
will
Because
say
like
that hotel, the first one I checked in. Now I didn't do the bathroom but I actually did. I did the bathroom, and I was like surprised how pretty kept up it was. I was like, okay, because then you know what surfaces you really need to clean. And you always have to clean the remote, the the light switches, the toilet seats, the toilet.
I don't wanna stop going. Stop,
You
stop, stop,
don't
stop.
who?
I have to
Okay,
stay in a hotel in 3 days, so
you
I had
want
to
you want to borrow
stay
my light? Do you
in
need me to
another
send you
hotel
one?
for a week straight. I'm cool. No, I hear I'm not making you seem crazy, Tanya.
The
You are
audience is
crazy.
listening to me and going, this
You are
chick is this
crazy.
girl is crazy. Listen, it's
I
the
also
same.
treated Tanya to a sound bath,
Oh yes,
which was a wonderful experience,
it was.
enlightening,
Yes.
opened up, a very I would say perhaps,
Serial killer feel.
I would say perhaps maybe I could have thought a little deeper about booking a private sound bath in a private home with someone I don't know in the rain in an area with no cell phone service.
In
I
the
could
woods.
see how perhaps that
In
could
the woods.
make someone anxious,
In the woods. Yeah.
but I was really glad I went with Tanya because then I knew I didn't need to be anxious because I knew she was going to take care of both of us.
I did. I had one eye, it was very funny. He offered us a mask for us to kind of center ourselves. Jessica took that mask quick and threw it on. I didn't. What I did was kept the mask on one eye on him because he looked like a serial killer. I mean, listen, it was different. We were in the woods. There was no cell service. It was dark. It did not quite feel just safe and normal. It felt like a
Yeah.
Lifetime movie. Felt like a Lifetime
Yeah.
movie. I watched too many.
Yeah.
Hulu TV
Yeah.
or
YouTube TV
YouTube
I have. Uh-huh.
TV. And for some reason, because of Lifetime,
Okay.
I can't let go.
Wait, Lifetime isn't on Hulu?
You can't get Lifetime on any other streaming service currently.
That probably tells you everything you need to know about Lifetime.
Well, now it's not just women in peril, it's Black women in peril. I mean, I watched Deadly Delph last night, and that was the best. The best. Okay, Deadly Delph. Black cast, young girl,
falls in
So
love
embarrassed for you.
with the neighbor.
Okay.
And she proceeds to start stalking him.
Mm-hmm.
And the black sister,
Okay.
his wife, had to beat her, I won't say the word, deadly death.
How many hours of your life did you waste on that? Was that a 2-hour with commercials? Is that 2.5
Hour
hours?
and 55, yeah.
Okay.
Hour
Wow.
55.
Great.
But, and then Christmas is coming. And we
Okay.
all know
I hope
Hallmark, Lifetime, just like the amount of Christmas movies that come on Lifetime is, it's amazing. So I can't let go.
I don't think that I really, truly, honestly think I can say I've never watched a Lifetime Christmas movie in my life.
What about a Hallmark one?
No.
Wow.
I don't. Yeah, no. I mean,
you
I've
know
seen
that
like Love
there's
Actually before.
Do you know there's
I like
okay,
that
girl,
movie.
girl. Okay. Let's move on. But I want to say one thing. Christmas movies, it's so important
To
to a lot of people.
I know, but why?
When I tell you that when they put out the schedule, so they'll probably put out the schedule starting like late.
I don't even know what you're talking about. The schedule of what?
All the Christmas movies that are going to be on Lifetime.
Okay, but
and Hallmark.
Are these Christmas movies that have been released before? Or these are original pictures
These are
made for.
These are original new ones.
Who are the
and
actors?
There's a lot of black. I will say there is like you could write a Christmas movie for any one of these. So
I would hope so.
There's always the black neighbor.
Yeah.
There is usually an interracial. Now there's a lot of interracial.
Okay.
They want to make sure they cut. There's always the Asian best friend.
Okay.
They're always going to a small town.
For like a retreat?
They're always this like big executive that somehow they're going to visit their parents in this small town and somehow they're going to save the small shop and then they're going to give up their big time career.
So I hope that movie's great because it sounds like you're spending about $1,500 a year to have access to these videos. So I mean,
okay,
that's great.
If anyone's out there, because it's
one more question for you.
Yeah.
Do they show them again? Meaning, like this year, could you watch last year's Hallmark movies, or are you trying to catch these when they're brand new because they're new?
So in July, there's Christmas in July, and during Christmas in July, you will catch up, particularly on Hallmark. You'll catch up on all of some of those like really fun Christmas movies.
Yeah, I won't.
I actually have a Christmas in July like flag that I put outside because I celebrate. And I will say, fall is my wife's thing. So starting probably mid-September, there will be pumpkin patches throughout our house.
Okay.
And then right after Thanksgiving, I throw all her stuff back into the garage and it's Christmas.
This whole conversation started about from Lifetime. And it's probably the reason why you shouldn't have Lifetime. Because I feel like even this seasonal, propaganda, not that you buy into, sounds like it perhaps is something, because it's not something that the pressure I feel in my life, and I'm wondering if it's because I don't watch Lifetime. Because I feel like there's some connection between your real passion for Lifetime and also you celebrating these artificial holidays in like an even more.
Did you just say artificial holiday?
Christmas in July? Is that not a?
Okay, girl. Okay. First of all, I just want to say there is these are not artificial holidays. But you know what? I want to say joy. If we talk about joy.
What's the craziest thing? Okay, I know you're not still Lysoling groceries, but before, what is the kind of the thing that you look back on now that you're like, okay, that was crazy?
I think
that pushed you
having her and myself undressed in the garage before coming into the house because somehow I got some speckles. There's some COVID on my shirt or something.
Right. Okay.
That was probably one.
Okay. I went.
That's a top one.
Yeah. That. I don't know that I could top that.
And my sister did the same thing to her family and her husband.
Oh, so this is a thing in your family. Okay.
Yeah, and she didn't feel bad at all.
Okay, undressing. Okay, I was gonna say I've shared this story with my life before, but yeah, I found a Pinterest article on how to make a no-sew mask out of a bra,
and I ordered a bra I ordered multiple bras because most people said use your own
Wait,
bra,
did
and I
you
was like, hey, but
say
guess what?
a
My bra's too
bra?
big for
You had
my
a bra
face.
mask?
Yes, I bought size B bras from Target, and I turned them into a
Wow. So for the
mask.
desperate early years, was
Those
that
were the
March?
early
Was
days,
that
yes.
March?
Masks, all of these new companies were not around yet. There was no masks.
Wow.
And I
That
remember
bra
looking
mask. How
at
many it was a good layer.
it was a
It
good
probably
layer.
had 2 or 3.
You know, I bought one with some padding. I bought padding for sure.
Oh
Come
my
on,
goodness.
girl. And
You
I
know
put it
we're gonna
on.
get people who go like they're gonna have we need to I need to see one of these masks.
I
Give
put
me
it
that.
on and I looked at JCL and I said, how does it look? And he said, like you're wearing a bra on your face. And the funny part is
Oh
this was
my
during a time
god.
where I wasn't going anywhere. So I'm not quite sure, like, was I making this for like
Just
my
in case.
walks around the
It was an
neighborhood?
emergency, just in
'Cause
case.
remember that you used to go on a walk on the neighborhood, you cross the other side of the
Oh,
street if someone came by.
girl, I
Like,
did that last week, so I'm just I just girl, I'm not trying to no good
undressing in the garage is pretty classic, though.
undressing in the garage,
Uh-huh.
making sure and I still actually keep sanitizer in the pocket
Yeah, that's
because
different.
but I also think I
The
think the
groceries,
grocery
people,
thing
the grocery store was a panic zone. Remember just going down an aisle and then people would just like go down like you only one person down an aisle at one time. And then I would wait until like maybe it aired out a
girl,
little bit before I'd go in.
I didn't go to the grocery store for 3 years.
What do you mean? Gender? Or you
No,
ordered online?
we ordered.
Mm,
That's where Instacart got my coin.
yeah.
Who went to I mean, did
I start no, only in the very beginning of COVID
I
did I go to grocery
girl, I
stores.
didn't
You're right. I mean, I went to
we didn't
Instacart or I had them like putting it in my trunk.
right.
In the very beginning though, I when you had like okay, it wasn't up and running and Instacart wasn't even happening because people weren't shopping for others. I was in the store, but you're right.
Yeah.
After that, it was
Nobody was going in that grocery
no.
store.
I had
And
never.
we were all locked in home doing puzzles.
Not only did I do a puzzle, but then I looked up like how to turn a puzzle into like a long term art
Oh
piece.
yeah.
So then I was shellacking puzzles.
We have a few of
And then
those in our house. Not hung up though.
Of
In the
course
closet.
not hung up in
In the
the
closet.
between 40 and 44 are optional for a mammogram if you have dense breasts. Now,
Right. And that
if
dense
you've
breast is a
never
whole new thing.
if you've never gone to get a mammogram and you haven't held a lot of other women's breasts before, how do you know if your breasts are dense compared to
Right.
what?
Right. And who's
Like,
going to tell you? I mean, I'm not
right.
sure the tech would be like, by the way, ma'am, you have dense breast. That's just not, those conversations are not
Well,
happening.
look, I told you how I
You
found
go
out I
down, you
don't
can go
have
down the
dense
rabbit
breasts.
hole. Go down the rabbit hole with the dense breast.
This is what happens when you start thumbing through your files, the
Oh
notes that
God.
your doctors leave in
You
your
know what? Read those
app.
files. Read
Yeah, read
those
them.
files because
It
I've
turns
never
out,
read them until like recently, and then I was like, "What is this?" Like they'll be put something, and I'm like, "Wait a minute!" And he's like, Why did anyone give her access? Why?"
right. Yeah, it turns out I don't have dense breasts all over my file about my fatty breasts.
And Lord Jesus, fix it. Let's just yes.
Ex-
We digress. Thank you,
we
doctors, for.
digress. Thank you for shame. Thank you for that extra level of shame, I think. I actually don't know. But yeah, so you can get you can do kind of an initial breast exam and you start going to different types of doctors.
Mhm.
Do you ever wonder when they go, okay, go ahead, I'm going to leave the room, and then you go ahead and put this robe on? I
Right.
mean, sometimes it's open in the front and sometimes you're supposed to keep it open in the back. And I feel
Right.
like you never know, like they never explicitly tell you.
It's
And
awkward.
also, I think if you like are a bigger of size, like sometimes you're like, okay, don't have me put this on open in the front. And so now I'm
Right.
basically just like sitting with everything out. But they never tell you. And can someone please make better robes for those?
Listen, you know what I have thought about in the past? Why not bring your own robe?
It,
Does that sound crazy? I don't know if it sounds
yes,
crazy.
that
When
is
you
not where
think
that's not where I thought you were going. It
listen,
sounds a little
if
bit
you
crazy,
if
but I
you
hear you.
if you but when you're thinking about the robe they
Yeah,
give
yeah.
you that does
Yes.
not close. I was in an office, I think it was, I don't know, it was mammogram, it was an x-ray or something. and they gave me a robe, and I felt like I had to walk down a hallway. And I was looking, and I was like, my was out. What is happening? And I think she realized, she goes, you might want to, here's a towel. You want to wrap, or like a robe, a gown. I was like, girl, this is not functional for me. Why do I now have this robe? And maybe I should have one on the back. And then you have it be because I have to walk down a hall with my ass out. This didn't work. Didn't work.
So
So
you're like,
yes, a
you come
custom
in
robe.
on a hanger with a
Listen,
robe on a hanger. But
I'm
look,
about
it's
listen.
not a crazy idea because if you're someone like who gets anxiety in the doctors already, the last thing you need is one more thing to have you
Right.
stressed. And
Right.
so
The
if for
last thing I
me,
need is my butt out in the
right,
streets.
right, and when I go, the last thing I need is to have another thing to give me like white coat syndrome. So you're right. Maybe it would be like a calming thing, like to bring your own.
And
I
I
go
think I
to
know I
a
know
place.
Etsy probably has a robe that I can order. I'm
I'm
about to
sure.
do. I'm sure I
Oh,
do.
were you at North
North
Hollywood High?
Hollywood.
Yeah, so I had what you would call an idyllic high school
Yeah.
experience, which is kind of crazy. What about what about you?
I'm not going back. I mean, we have someone else has that motto. I agree with her. We're not going back. I'm moving forward. But I was good. I remember, Huskies. I tried out for the mascots. I did that for a second. I was a peer counselor.
Wait, tried out for the mascot? What does that
I was a
mean? To
mascot.
be
I
the
was a
mascot?
husky. No, I tried out. Okay, so let's be honest. Let me just
The
hold on.
fact that you just brushed
I
over
didn't even know the damn
is
still. I tried out for the drill team. I didn't make it. Let's just be honest. I tried out for the drill team. That was not.
wait a second. Just
Yes.
pause. Listeners, I just want to confirm. She said I was going to be I wanted to be the mascot and blew by that like that's just a
No,
normal thing to
nobody,
bring
because
up.
that was the only thing I could get. So first of
What
all, it was
okay,
show.
so the husky,
First of
but
all, it
wait,
was
was the husky a full like
husky. It
head
was
and
full husky,
outfit?
full out husky. So it was husky. So it was like, first it was like, let me think about cheer. Then I was like, how about drill team? And then let me just say, we put our best to the test. We stand with unity. We know together we will win. Success is guaranteed. Our best is success, and the key is unity. We put all together for a husky victory. Why do I remember that? That's wild, because I'm still traumatized because nobody would let me in.
Because you weren't the husky.
I'm still traumatized.
You're still trying to show them that you're still
I
trying
could
out.
do it. I really could do it. But no, I will say no.
Wow. Put me in, coach.
Put me in. I got this. But no. So, and then it was like, okay, let me just move on. And then I became a peer counselor. So
And talk to all the kids who couldn't get on the sports team about,
their problems.
hey, don't worry,
So we
guys.
would gather.
We're all okay.
We would gather.
We're all going to be
We would
okay.
gather, and I was supportive. So I was in my mind, I was a therapist, and and I will,
Working through your
and I
own
will
pain.
say, the dean was cute. And so
Okay. This is such a problematic.
I was like, I'll be a peer counselor, dean. But and then what was it?
This whole story is
Was it the
problematic.
cheer, the knack of it, or was it the fact that I remembered
It's all. I mean, it's the husky, it's the mascot, it's the becoming a peer counselor.
because of the team?
It's because of the trauma and the husky and the
And then I
dean.
went
Keep
dark.
going.
Then I went dark, and then I started. I had a friend at the John Burroughs. I had a friend. Then I started.
Oh, did you go to
No, I
jail?
started
God,
dating.
wow.
I
This
was
is
dating someone.
oh,
Yeah,
dating
Burbank,
someone at John
Burbank.
Burroughs.
And then we would, and
Big
I will
deal.
just say this out loud. Their family had an apartment building that they managed, and so then we'd start throwing parties. Then I was the girl that this is where my party planning started with high school. So I was then known for the person who would throw the parties. So let's just say
Wow.
that between the peer counseling and that, maybe I wasn't a peer counselor for long.
So so wait, back to the husky really
Oh
fast. So
no,
that
can we
didn't
move on?
but I'm
It
just
didn't work out.
asking,
It didn't work out.
you
It
didn't
didn't
make
work
that.
out.
Okay, you
It
didn't
didn't
make
work
that.
out.
All
But
right.
I know that I could have done a really good job. Just gonna say.
So were the parties you were throwing, were these parties for like the like popular crowd, or were these kind of like alt parties? Like people
One would probably say
like
alt. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah,
Good
yeah, yeah.
liquor. I had the good look.
You had somebody with an
I
ID.
had
You
someone
had
with an
somebody with an
ID,
ID.
an apartment
You were
building,
getting real.
apartment.
Oh, right.
I was, listen, anyway, we'll move on from this.
All the ingredients you
All
needed.
the ingredients. All that to say, I would not go back, but it
Okay.
wasn't bad.
Hey, it's Jessica. Thanks for listening to Girl Call Me. If you have something to add or a story to share, come on over to Instagram or Facebook and join the conversation. Also, make sure you follow and subscribe Girl Call Me. You don't want to miss when we release new episodes. Thanks for listening.